So here's the thing. Sometimes you feel like you're progressing well. You're doing well in the gym. Gains are going up. Strength is going up. Someone gives you some advice that's completely counter to what you're doing. So if you're doing high reps, low weight, they say, start using heavy weight and low reps. You're going to build more gains. Your shoulders are going to pop. You're going to get huge quads. And now you're unsure whether you should follow their advice or you should stick to what you're doing because you're seeing the gains yourself. And though advice comes in a lot of ways, the most common question that always occurs is, when should I increase my sets? Because they might be doing a lot of volume, high sets, but you're doing quite few sets, but a higher intensity, things like that. And you doubt yourself when people give you advice because you see their progress in the gym and they've gotten huge, pat on the back for them. But you're also doing well with what you're doing. And now your brain starts thinking, should I follow them because I can see their gains and what their advice is, it must be legit. Firstly, there are many ways and there's no one correct way to actually build an amazing physique. Usually advice is never wrong. The best thing you can do is consider the advice, research it, and if it's worth implementing, then go ahead. But the main problem is when the advice is conflicting to what you're doing. And what you're doing, you're still seeing gains. First thing to realize is stop thinking that the grass is always greener on the other side. And what this means is don't fall into analysis paralysis, trying to always find the next optimal, like constantly researching and constantly getting advice to find, is this the new optimal? Wait, if I do this plus this, now I can increase my gains by this. And always trying to refine it, keep refining what you're doing to think there's such thing as the perfect way and the most efficient and max and straight way that you can maximize your gains. There's no such thing. And because today it may be using heavy weight but low reps. Tomorrow the industry is going to come out and say, no, it's actually low weight but heavy reps to feel that burn, the lactic acid. Things are going to change every day. If you really want to follow the advice, here's the best way to think about it. Are you still progressing with what you're doing? If you're not, then actually check other things such as your sleep, your recovery, whether you dread going into the gym. Usually things like this where you can identify that you're very fatigued or that you're not putting time and effort into your recovery are actually major telltale signs of why you're not progressing. It's not your program. It's actually what you're doing behind the program, your nutrition, your sleep, all those factors. You're not paying attention to that. So how do you expect that you will be gaining muscle by changing a program when you're not focusing on the foundations? If you're bulking, if you're sleeping full 8 hours a day, you recover, low stress, full motivation, and still you're not progressing at all, then following advice and especially increasing your sets is definitely a good idea because more sets means more volume, which means more stimulus on your muscles, which means more adaptations, huger gains. But at the same time, don't add too many sets at once. So add an initial set for the whole week. So for that whole muscle group, if you're stalling, add one set for the whole week and see a couple weeks. And then after that, if you're still stalling, add another set. If you add too many at once, then your body will run into recovery issues because it's not used to doing that much at once. That way, you can maximize your gains. That's all, boys, and see you in the next one.